Marlin Macho Man Hill.
What you mean? Don't forget again. Check it out. It's the business hours, the after business, whatever the hell he just said.
You know what time it is. It's time for the business hours.
After hours.
With promise. It's not a threat, it's a promise.
All right, so with this being the first official episode of Business Hours After Hours, I felt it was only right to bring a special guest through. But this dude ain't even really a guest. This family, this like a big brother to me. Comedian, media personality. He's done a lot of major things, man. Worked with Chris Tucker, worked with Mike Epps, traveled around the world doing comedy, and I happen to be one of his good friends. Please welcome my first guest to the Business Hours After Hours, Mr. Marlin Hill.
What's up, ladies? I mean, my wife. I'm Marlin Hill, and you tune into the Business Hours After Hours. That's right. It's not a threat. It's a promise. Huh?
Hollywood
That's
Hill.
it.
Five-time Apollo champion as well.
Yeah,
Can't forget
five.
that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Five.
Plead the fifth.
Yes.
How you feeling here?
I'm feeling good, man. You looking good, man.
Likewise.
I see you, baby. I see you. Ooh,
Man, I had to get
Look
in the
good,
gym,
man.
man. Can't keep
That's all
getting
right.
bullied out here.
I know, right?
Man, appreciate you coming through.
Nice setup, man. Look at this.
Thank you, man.
Business. This is the
You like
business.
this?
Oh, man. This is it, man.
Appreciate it, man. You know, just it was a vision,
Sure.
an idea I had.
You talked about this.
Yeah, man. I've been wanting to
Yes.
do this for 3 years
Good dude.
formally. Dibbled and dabbled in it, you know, with some content here
Mhm.
and there, but this is the first time formally doing it. You know, I posted some interviews and some content online,
Exactly.
but this is officially formally the show.
Oh.
It's gonna be the format. Is how we gonna get down.
We
So,
proud of you, man. We following you.
I
You know that.
appreciate
You
that.
always my brother, man. Seriously.
you.
Brother from another mother, right?
Appreciate that, man. So,
Right.
man, Marlon Hill, comedian,
Yes.
voice actor,
Here. Yes.
media personality.
Yes.
I hear you got an anniversary coming up for
Yeah.
the comedy show too, right?
Pub, man. I opened a year ago. I partnered up with Marriott Courtyard,
Yeah.
and we've been showcasing comedy every Saturday if you get a chance. Out in
If you're in the
Brown
Milwaukee
Deer.
area.
That's right, in
Yeah.
Milwaukee area. I'm sorry, I forgot we was nationwide. You in the Milwaukee area, stop by Marlin's Comedy Pub. We celebrating our 1-year anniversary, man. It's been love, man. I've been giving cats an opportunity to just come and showcase their talent, man. And actually, you might not want to talk about this, but this dude is hilarious.
Stop.
I remember back in the day, I had a venue on National.
Yeah.
Remember in Milwaukee?
You used to let me come down and
And
host.
he came and he wrecked shop, man. But at the same time, man, I'm proud of what you're doing now. But I remember that. I never forget that.
No, man. You know what? Like those days, man. Them some memories. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes, sir.
We used to have some good times
Let's
down
get
there. And to me, like that type of stuff prepared me really for now. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like being a radio personality, being just a person in media entertainment. Period. You know, timing.
Hmm.
Doing comedy, I know timing is important.
That's it.
And that's the same thing with being on air or me being in front of a camera or being behind a microphone. Timing is key. Knowing when I'm supposed to do something, how to get in and out of breaks,
Right.
having content,
Yeah.
being sharp, being witty, being funny, engaging people, being entertaining. And I learned it out a lot from just being around you
I
and
appreciate
being around other comedians and things like that, and just learning how to just be yourself. You know what I mean? Like you guys taught me how to sell me almost. So it's just another format. I still get to entertain and touch people just in a different way.
it. Yeah, man. You branded yourself, though. You knew. I knew
Appreciate
something. You were very mature as a young man, so we knew. I said, given the opportunity, this brother's going to flourish, and you did, man. We just extremely proud,
No, I
man.
appreciate
Keep
it, man.
grinding, man.
Still in the grind with it.
Yeah.
And now, Hill, what made you actually want to do comedy? You know what I'm saying? Like really pursue it? Because a lot of people think they funny, or there's a lot. I always say it's different types of funny.
It is.
But what
it
made
is.
you want to be an actual comedian?
All right, let me address your different types of funny because I think that's important.
Yeah,
You got barbershop funny,
facts.
and then you got stand-up comedy funny. You might be funny in a barbershop. That don't mean you're ready to do stand-up. I
Right.
just want to make that point. My family is funny. My grandmother, before she passed, may she rest in peace. I know she's looking down, watching over me. She was funny. And I was able to be around her and pick up her mannerisms and just hear that wisdom come out.
Yeah.
And so I started mimicking her
Okay.
because she was funny to me.
Got you.
And so I would take that show on the road and perform it at some of my talent shows in high school at Madison, 8135 West Floors. Enrollment
House for
starts,
those in the
I'm just
mill.
saying, anytime you look for a school campus, take your kids. But no, I started doing grandma there.
Okay.
So, and that took me to radio. And people love grandma. And I miss doing
The
grandma, but
character,
it's,
yeah.
it was more than a character to me because that was my grandmother. I mean, what I said on the radio and what I say on stage is actually what my grandmother has said before.
in real life.
So yeah,
Okay.
my grandmother was just funny, you know, anything. Just like I used to go through the drive-through. This is when I knew I perfected the skill because I would be grandma in a drive-through.
Okay.
And I'd be by myself in the car. And let me get a number 2 with no mayonnaise. I don't want no mayonnaise because I will break out. So make sure you don't put mayonnaise on there. And so I drive around to the next window, and the guy would see me, and I'm like somebody dropped right. Somebody drove off, sir. Yeah, I saw a lady. She was very upset. She drove off.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where it started. Promise.
Okay.
I mean, I watch people in my family. Everybody's funny in my family. Yeah.
So just natural.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let's go back for a second talking about the different types of funny. You broke down people being like barbershop funny and then stand-up funny. I think it's even more levels to it. I was talking with a young lady at a club a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
She ironically told me she wanted to get into stand-up. She told me she had never did comedy before, but she secretly had this passion to want to do it. And I don't know what made her come and talk to me. We just was having a conversation at the bar. And she said, I don't want to do it at home. I want to do it in Milwaukee because, you know, I've never done it before. I want to go somewhere where don't nobody know me. And I want to test out some material first, right? So she told me she wanted to drive to, I think she said it was an open mic somewhere in either Chicago or Detroit.
Okay.
She was going to go there, do it there, see how that went. Depending on how that go, she was going to determine if she would come back home. And what you being a comedian, what type of advice would you give? Because I'm going to tell you what I told her.
Sure,
You
sure.
tell me what you
this is what I would tell her.
Okay.
I would tell her to get on stage because everybody in Chicago is not going to allow you to get on stage. They got vets that are having trouble getting on stage.
But she told me that she felt if she was rejected or didn't get the reception she wanted, she was okay with that from people who didn't know her. She didn't want to do that at home. And I'm going to tell you what I told her. You let me know as a real comedian what you would tell
me
her.
Personally, I tell her to go where she's from because they're going to keep it real. If you can make the people in your hometown laugh or in your own house laugh, you can entertain others in the neighborhood. And that's how I did it. I started in Milwaukee and then went out.
Right.
I went out. So I was doing stand-up comedy here on the South Side at the White Rooms, meaning, you know, they owned the venue. That's who you saw from the stage. Until I had
black
my
crowd.
no, not at all.
Okay.
And so when I went to the Apollo, I was prepared. But you got to start, I think, in your home area. You talk about stuff that the audience relate to. Yeah. So why would you take your act to Detroit and Chicago? Because you actually making comedy harder for you. Yeah. And then they're not going to give you the stage
You're
time.
surrounded in inspiration sometimes for the
get
humor.
You get it.
You can pull from things that are going to resonate. Exactly. You from a different market. If you code and polish, you're going to be able to hit them. But if you not polish, they may not, like you said, you could always fall back on locality.
Sure.
Like if you were at the crib, you could tell something about something in the area, the hood, or something people recognize, and they can laugh at that.
Right.
If you're in another market, you might not know those areas. So the advice that I gave her, talking a little bit about what we talked about, I told her, I said, well, I have some experience hosting comedy rooms and doing some stand-up. Never formally, I said, but I was silly enough and funny enough that I knew I could make people laugh. I never felt I was an accomplished comedian. So I told her, I said, the first thing you have to learn is you got to get comfortable. You got to have timing. I told her timing was key. I said, in order, you got to know when to tell the joke and wait for the laugh. I alluded to you. And I was just telling her, I said, yo, it's a technique. And I said, everybody can't do it. And I broke down to her what I felt were different levels of funny. And I said, you have your salon and barbershop funny. That's true. You got your block or your neighborhood funny. Right. You got silly people. Right. That don't mean you funny. Right. You can make somebody laugh. That doesn't mean you can hold a crowd. Talk to me. I told her, I said, it's a TV show funny, script funny. Exactly. Meaning if somebody writes material for you, you can deliver. That's right. Then it's people who can rib and crack on people. And that don't necessarily take a skill or technique. That's just being quick on your feet. Yeah, but some of those people can't tell a joke to save life. I said, then you
Absolutely.
have social media funny now, where people doing things online. So I just told her it's different levels to it. So I said, you have to find what your lane is and what you want to do. But I told her, I said, I wish you the best. When I told her, reach out to me. I said, hit me on social media, DM me, let me know what that experience is like. If you go do it, I'm interested to see, you know, what you're going to do. But you're right. I should have told her she got to start at the crib.
And there's not many open mic nights that I know around town.
But see, that's the issue. It is a void with the comedy you're hearing in the middle.
So she's going to have trouble getting work. So whenever you have an opportunity to get on stage, I encourage her to get on stage, whether it's Milwaukee, whether it's Detroit, whether it's Chicago. Get on stage and just be funny. That's it. That's how you grow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Seriously.
Because, I mean, to me, it's like either people have it or they don't.
Yeah.
Like, and I told her, I said, sweetie, being a comedian is not as easy as people think. It's like, you know, us, we sports guys. I love to watch ESPN. A lot of people watch Sports Center and feel like, man, I could do that. It's more than reading that teleprompter. You know what I mean? Like that time and that panic, you know, being on the news or being in a movie or being a comedian. You might be like, oh, I can get up there. Because, you know, you deal with hecklers. So it's always somebody in the crowd who think they funny. They can see the show or be the show, as you say.
You get it.
But you got people in the crowd that feel like they funny or they can say stuff too.
Always.
But if you put them hot white lights on somebody and give them 15 minutes.
You ain't even got to give them 15. You give them 5.
5, yeah.
They'll kill themselves.
Right.
They will come on stage and kill themselves. I'm telling you. We've seen it. You've seen it.
Absolutely.
You've been at the room. You witnessed that guy in the back.
I've seen it on a local and national
Talk to
level.
me.
So
you smack. Oh, hold on. No, let me tell you something. No names. We were at a venue. I never forget. It was ARJ's over on Good Hope.
Man,
but it was called,
Harley.
that's right, my main man.
Yeah.
And his venue was called, I think, Panache.
Panache, yeah.
There was a comedian on stage that got mad. Promise was actually special guest DJ in that night. That's right. Yeah. You were running the board and you were playing music from up there. So apparently you had missed the guy's cue. And he called himself going in on Promise. And that's where he made a mistake. This boy, he didn't have to be a seasoned vet. But you told that man a new. I remember what you said, and if I hadn't changed my religion, I would tell him what you killed him, man. You had him. He would never try you again.
No, he backpedaled off me.
Oh yeah, that was big. I remember that.
Like, and I know my thing is, you know, as I didn't want to interrupt the set of the show. But again, he
tried to bring you on stage.
Yeah, and he forgot I had a
you
microphone. You
had a microphone.
Too.
That's a bad boy.
I'm like,
oh, you smashed him.
You can't attack the guy with the mic.
Oh,
yeah. So
classic. That was epic, man. I'll never forget that.
So I just tell people like it's not easy being a comedian. I respect the craft, and I tell people like everybody think they can just do stuff. So that leads me to ask you this: in this new era, when you came in the game doing comedy, most guys had to go do small rooms, had to do open mic nights, talent shows, a lot of different things in order to get heard and be seen. This is a new era now. You got the internet, you got social media. There's different platforms for people to get exposure. I've talked to other comedians before, so I want to ask you, what is your feeling on the current state of comedy, and how do you feel about the social media comedian?
I don't have a problem. I want everybody to get their money. Okay. You know what I mean? I think it's enough out here for us all. I'm not really big on social media, but I'm big on any stage.
Okay. You still got a Black Planet page?
Yeah. My MySpace too. I like physical comedy. I like people who are animated, people who do impressions, because I do impressions.
Right.
And I respect a lot of comedians to just get on stage. If you get on this stage and there's a possibility that you can bomb, you got guts.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously.
It takes courage.
And everybody that's on stage, I mean, I go into comedy clubs and I may not go up. I just like to be around comedy.
Yeah, the energy.
I love to hear. I love that feeling that you get when you see somebody on stage. Like, I remember that was me, and if I can give him constructive criticism or her constructive criticism when they come on stage, I'm there to give it.
Yeah. And I think you learn your strengths and weaknesses. Like, you've done voice work. You know, you've done things with animation.
Shouts out to the Boondocks.
Yeah, and speaking
What's
of that,
up, Boondocks?
Well, let's talk about that for a second. Aaron McGruder word is he bringing back the Boondocks.
I'm waiting on the call.
Now, you were on the last season of Boondocks, right?
I was on season 3 of the Boondocks. Check the video. The people like, I ain't see you.
No, you was on it.
You hear me. You can't see me. You have to hear me.
The Boondocks a damn
I ain't see you, fam.
Shish! President Obama's talking.
My fellow
I know he's going to
Americans.
tell us what to do.
Good afternoon. I'd like to start off by thanking all of you out there who have called and written letters about the safety of the first family. You'll be happy to know that Michelle, Sasha, Malia, myself, and Bo are all fine.
Don't nobody care about you, man. Tell us everything will be okay for us.
Everything is going to be okay.
And I know one of the biggest impersonations that you've done and has gotten you a lot of places around the country is your Barack Obama.
Who?
You know, the dude we wish who still was in the White House.
That guy, the 44.
Yeah, 44.
That was my man. Let me tell you something about Barack. We have never seen a sitting president, and promise you will attest to this. We've never seen a sitting president be subjected to that type of abuse that we witnessed with the 44th president of the United States,
Yeah,
our
right.
president, Barack Obama. But you know what I loved about him? He was always smooth, calm, and collected at all times.
Yeah,
Was he smooth, promise?
he was a smooth dude.
I remember watching.
His whole family, really.
Oh,
how they,
I
how
love
they
Michelle.
carried- like, the
Everything.
whole first family,
Yeah,
how they carried
he
themselves.
was smooth because I remember one of the reporters, I think it was a Fox reporter, they had asked him a question,
Yeah,
and they were talking about the economy. And Barack is so smooth that he didn't even answer the question.
he curved
But
it.
he curved it. He deflected. He was so always smooth, no look pass on him. They were like, Mr. President, you said once you took office that the unemployment numbers would change. People are losing their homes, they're losing their jobs, they're losing their cars. People are afraid. How are you and Michelle able to connect with these people? Barack was smooth. He didn't stutter. He was, well, look, here's what I will say. There are going to be times where you're going to have to use your resources. Michelle and I, we came together today. We were driving past that new town center. What is it, Bayshore? And we stopped at that new Applebee's over there, right, Michelle? And we had the 2 for $20. So we're bringing the country back together by sharing. Next question. I said, I'm voting for that man. I'm voting for him. That's my dude. Yeah, man. I love Barack Obama.
Nah, I
man.
miss that dude.
Miss that man. Love Michelle, Sasha, Malia. Oh man, just made you proud to be an African American. You
He's
know
still
what I'm talking
out,
about?
and they still out here doing. I think they just did a deal with Netflix, and
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh
they
yeah.
still
He's
out
at
here
his
doing
money, yeah.
amazing things.
Yes.
So we got Marlin Hill in the building,
In the building.
right here on the Business Hours After Hours. But I also want to ask you in this era. I was talking to your boy Mike Epps a couple months ago,
Oh, that's my dude.
and I asked him,
My car seats. That's my man.
I asked him about the current state of comedy and just the world, how things are more sensitive now. Things are more taboo to say now. You know what I mean? And being comedians, sometimes comedians push the envelope or talk about and touch on different subject matter. So I want to ask you, being a comedian in 2019, are you more skeptical, or do you think more before you write material, before you perform things because of how the world is now? Or are you like, nah, it's just expression, it's just art, I'm just going to do what I want to do and what I feel?
Can I be candid with you?
Man, be 1,000% with me.
I don't write material. I
Okay.
go on stage, honestly, and I know this is probably hard to believe. You probably didn't know this either. I go on stage, and honestly, before I go on stage, and I'm not ashamed to say this,
Yeah.
actually, I think it's necessary for everybody to say this and do this. I pray before I go on stage.
Okay.
We all get in circle,
your
all
head
my
right.
comics.
Yeah.
Because I not only pray that the show is great, I pray that God allows us to use his gifts and we give him the glory.
Okay.
See, a lot of people think it's about them. I know where my gifts come from.
Okay.
And so when I go on stage, whatever God puts in his head comes right here,
Okay.
comes right there. So I'm going to be honest. My material, I have things I've done before. I got a memory
Yeah.
like an elephant. I can remember what I said before.
Okay.
But I go on stage without a script and I just go. I read the audience and I ask God,
To kind
Take
of
me.
guide you.
take me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm sorry if I got off your. Did I answer your question? I really did.
No,
What
you
was your
spit
question?
me.
What was your question?
Just-
Next question. please.
Okay, Obama.
No, go ahead. Tell me.
Just in this current climate, you being a comedian with your material,
Sure.
but you're saying like you kind of just let it come to you.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering,
Nothing
like,
off
do you
limits.
censor yourself now, or are you more skeptical? Like, nah, I don't want to say that. I'm not gonna do that. Now
Only thing I
because of
won't talk about.
backlash or things like that.
No, because if it's funny, it's funny. There are certain things. If I can't say it with my mother in the room,
Yeah.
I won't say it. So I am mindful of stuff that I like. Oh, I want to go there, but gotta give me either out or he say go there.
Okay.
So there are times, honestly, I walk that line.
Yeah.
But honestly, 9 times out of 10, my mindset is pretty, I try not even so much offend. I don't think like I used to. When I was young, I was radical. I would get on stage and say whatever.
Yeah.
But I understand
So,
we don't search
so
people sometimes.
Okay, so maybe the climate hasn't changed your chart.
You
Maybe
grow.
thought process.
You grow.
Maybe just you as an
Yeah,
individual
I
growing
grow.
older.
My
Okay.
material,
Okay.
I'm smarter
Okay.
than I was 20 years ago in stand-up comedy.
Okay.
When I was 20 years ago, whatever.
Yeah. So the current climate doesn't really impact your thought process.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Your
Not at all.
maturity and your growth.
Yeah, my growth.
Okay.
My growth don't even allow me sometimes to go there. Like I see stuff that's funny, and other people can talk about stuff that I wouldn't talk about. I'm like, that's funny coming from him, the way he said it. It doesn't work coming from me.
Okay.
My style,
Okay.
But I'm funny though.
Now let's switch gears for a second.
LeVar, can I switch gears with you because I have a question
You
here.
can switch gears with me anytime.
Marlon Brick.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's all he
But
was-
do you think he was actually
No,
being? I don't think he
I
really
don't
meant it
think-
sexual. I don't think so. But some people believe he did, and
But
that's
the
why
way
he
he
banned.
did, you saw the video. The way
Yeah, I see the.
he was.
I'm
gonna be honest. Come on.
fine.
He licked his lip. When you lick your lips, you trying to hit.
I don't think
You ever see
LeVar be OC, but I don't think in that instance.
You don't
he
think
trying
LeVar
to
was
be-
trying to hit?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
Would you hit my? Go ahead.
Come on, man.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, just say. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you. I know we got to wrap.
All right, Hill. So whenever I interview people, and really I don't even like to call it interviews. I like to have conversations with people.
Okay.
I always do something called first and last. All right.
First and last.
So I'm gonna ask you a first. I'm gonna ask you a last.
Okay.
It may or may not be correlated.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get it.
That's good.
Marlin Hill. What's the first thing you do when you wake up?
Man, I thank God for another day. I thank God. Honestly, another day. He didn't have to touch me on my shoulder and move my body. You know what I mean? And make that heartbeat. So I thank the Lord first and foremost.
I respect that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've asked that question to a lot of different
Yeah.
people, and it's always interesting to see
Yes, that's
what
what
the
I
answer
yeah.
is. Okay. All right.
Then I tapped my wife on her show. Go ahead though. You said the first question. Go ahead. I'm sorry. The first thing I think about. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm just.
I don't need no more kids.
No, we good. Oh, you trying to say I got too many?
I'm just
What's wrong with kids, Brian?
nothing. They're wonderful. Team no kids. They're wonderful.
Oh, team no kids.
Team no kids over here.
Your sperm count low. What? Why you don't have kids? No, I'm asking you. No, go ahead. Go ahead. We getting off topic. We got to stay on topic. Go ahead. I'm just saying we got to stay on topic. I'm
All
sorry.
right. When's the last time you told a lie? Don't lie.
I got to be honest. Last show I did, which was last Saturday. Girl came up to me after the show.
Yeah.
She was something, ready to do something. And she asked me where I was going after the show.
Okay.
And I told her I was going home. We went out to eat. I just didn't want to eat with her. That's all I'm saying. That's the last lie I told. I'm just gonna keep it candid.
All right. Been doing a lot of impersonations your entire life.
Yeah.
You might have answered this one, but
Go ahead.
what's the first impersonation you ever did?
I don't know if it was the first, but one of my favorite impersonations I did when I was growing up was a wrestler. I don't know if you remember. This was probably before your time. Randy Macho Man Savage. That was one of my first impressions because I think I did Macho Man better than he did Macho Man.
Really?
Yeah, that's how confident I was. And I used to be on the playground, in the lunchroom, wherever. And they were like, hit that Macho Man. Go ahead, Molly, hit it. And I'd hit it. Yeah. But you got to take about 3 minutes before you start talking. Macho Man, this is the momentum maneuvering in my direction, yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, don't laugh, because I'll come over and lay the smack down on you too, bro. Yeah, that was the first impression I made. The Macho Man.
That was
Randy
before the
Savage.
Slim Jims?
Yeah, bite into a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah.
All right, Hill. What's
up?
the last thing you Googled?
Last thing I Googled.
Don't lie. We'll look at the
All
search history on your phone. Don't
I
lie.
can look at it on my phone right now. Hold on.
I'm trying to clear out Pornhub.
Oh, that's funny. Pornhub was the second last thing. What I Googled was actually Best Buy.
That's the last thing you
That's
Googled?
the last thing I Googled. Best Buy.
What you was trying to get from Best Buy? What's
A book about Pornhub. got something for you before you go, man. This is official right here. They just came out, limited edition.
Okay.
It is the Marlin's Comedy Pub T-shirt.
I like gifts,
like
man.
I said, come on, man. This is for you, brother.
Man,
I
appreciate
appreciate
that.
what you're doing. Represent, man.
That's for me.
Seriously, look at the arms. I'll cover your arms. Look at them arms.
Hey, come on, man. I've been in it.
That's you, man.
I've been in the
Congratulations,
gym, man.
Oh, that's big, man.
I did some dope.
Appreciate that. StandUpMarlin.com to get tickets, man. Come see me every Saturday night, 7 p.m. in Brown Deer, your neighborhood.
You're in Milwaukee County. Come out, check out my man Marlin
Yes.
Hill.
Most
And I know that we didn't talk about it, but comedy club, big comedy club.
Oh.
I know you got some plans. To
You
open
already
up.
know. I always
Keep me in the
want,
loop on that,
man.
man.
I will.
And all your
when it
future
happens,
events.
when the ribbon cutting ceremony, I want you there.
Appreciate
You
that.
already know that.
Well, Marlon, I wish you the best
Thank
in
you, brother.
everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
With your stand-up, with your life,
Thank
your
you.
family, and everything.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming through the Business Hours After Hours. Marlon Hill. Marlon Macho Man Hill.
What you man, don't forget again. Check it out. It's the Business Hours, the After Business, whatever the hell he just said. Oh, yeah.
Hey, yo, you tuned into the Business Hours After Hours, but you got a promise, and you already know. It's not a threat. It's a promise.
It is.
It is.